For the next couple of breakfast hack ideas, I'm gonna take a walk on the wild side and try a couple of things I've actually never tried before. This should be fun. The first one I've been intrigued with for a long time, omelets in a bag. I am really excited to try this. Now the first thing to remember is to start with a bag that's approved for boiling in water. And the second thing to remember is you gotta have fun. I'm just prepping all the ingredients first. I'm gonna slice off a little piece of green bell pepper. I'm gonna dice everything up pretty fine. I don't think it's gonna take too long to cook the omelets, so I don't wanna have huge chunks of veggies. I just grabbed whatever veggies I could get my hands on. I'm a big mushroom person when it comes to omelet. Okay, I'm gonna dice up just a little tomato. The good news is I'm not making a huge commitment by just making one omelet in a bag. It's nice to experiment with things like this before you really go whole hog. Okay, I've also got a green onion for extra flavor. And why not? I've got chives too. Open up your produce drawer and see where the world takes you. Okay, so now I'll put this thing together. Cannot wait to try this. I'm gonna start with 3 eggs. That's a pretty good size for an omelet. And I just decided to take the easy thing one step further and not even use a bowl to mix up the eggs. I'm gonna crack them right in the bag. And then very carefully use a fork to just break them up. I sure don't want to pierce a hole in the bag. And then everything just goes in. The peppers, the tomatoes, some grated cheese, some thin deli ham. Of course, you could use bacon, sausage, anything you've got. And the green onions and chives. I'm getting stuff all over the place. And the shrooms. Needs a little bit of flavor, so I'll sprinkle in some salt and pepper. I gotta tell you, I love it already. Okay, I'm gonna seal it up and get most of the air out. It's so colorful and pretty, and I love the idea of making a bunch of these the night before. It would make the cooking process go so much faster than tending to a skillet. All right, here goes nothing. Drop the bag right into simmering water. Meanwhile, my next experiment, Wafflemaker hash browns. I've got some frozen hash browns and I let them thaw and I kind of broke them up and separated them. And I'm gonna mix in some melted butter and salt and pepper. Very, very simple. You can see that the hash browns are pretty dry, even with the melted butter. That's because after I thawed them and broke them up, I put them in between paper towels and really squeezed out the excess water. That way, the hash browns will get nice and crispy. Those are all mixed together. So now I'm gonna build the Wafflemaker hash browns. I've got the Wafflemaker preheated. It's on medium heat. I don't wanna burn the potatoes. And I'm gonna spray the Wafflemaker really well with non-stick cooking spray, just to give myself a fighting chance. And then I'll grab a 1/2 cup measure and see how that quantity is for each well. I think that is gonna be just right. So I'll stick the hash browns in first. And then I'll get to work. I wanna spread them out. You really need to work it right from the beginning and get them all distributed. Oh my gosh, I'll bet these are gonna be so good. Cheese, of course. I'm gonna add some cheddar. I'm just doing a nice light layer. It's probably the only time in my life I've ever added a nice light layer of cheese. And by the way, light is a relative term. Okay, I'm also gonna add some meat. I've got the thin deli ham that I used in the omelet. And I wanna put it pretty much where it's gonna stay because this stuff is not gonna move around once I shut the Wafflemaker. Okay, last one. And then I'll put hash browns right on top. I'm not gonna stick quite as many on the top layer. Oh boy. Just give me fried potatoes however I can get them. This may revolutionize things for me. Okay, I'll close the Wafflemaker. Oh, listen to that sizzle. Now I'm gonna let them go for 15 minutes and then we'll see where we're up to. Guess what? The 15 minutes are up, and I cannot wait to see the results of these little hack experiments. Look at that omelet. I am so intrigued. Okay, I'm gonna set it down and just let it cool off a little bit. It is mighty hot. Speaking of mighty hot, I am so excited to see what these hash browns look like. I'm in love, absolutely in love. They smell so good. Here we go. Oh my gosh, they're so crispy and sizzly, and one is definitely not gonna be enough. I'm gonna get another one. Wow, that looks fantastic. Okay, the moment of truth has come for the omelet in a bag. I'm gonna cut it pretty close down there. And my dream is that this thing falls right out of the bag. It looks amazing. Wow, it's just so moist and perfect. I think it could use just a little garnish. I've still got some chives left. Goodness me. 2 new breakfast hack experiments. I hadn't tried them before now, and I declare both of them a raging success. I want to share a breakfast hack with you that will absolutely transform your mornings. It sure has transformed mine. It's overnight strawberries and cream muesli. Oh, I love it, and it uses one of my very favorite kitchen tools there is, a simple mason jar. I'm gonna start by adding some grains to the jar first. 1/2 cup of oats. This is basically overnight oatmeal made in a jar, and it's so nice to make up a great big batch, and then you'll just have them over the next few days whenever you need it. Okay, I'm gonna add a couple of other things to the jar. Some flax seed, just about 1.5 teaspoons. Chia seeds, very, very healthy. Everybody loves them these days. And they puff up nicely. They have such a great texture once they're all filled with liquid. And then I'm gonna add 1/4 cup of shredded coconut. Now, every overnight muesli that I have ever loved has always had fruit in it. In fact, the first time I ever tried this, I was in Vail, Colorado, and I tried it at a restaurant there for breakfast. It was the best thing I'd ever eaten. And all I could eat was this breakfast muesli because it was so rich and scrumptious. I've kind of tried to reproduce that one ever since. Strawberries and cream is sort of my own variation of the Vail recipe. Okay, now I'm gonna put the fruit in. I've got enough for 6 jars. I'm just gonna build one at first. Put in some apples, and I diced up a bunch of strawberries. So that's about as much as I wanna put in the jar in terms of regular ingredients, because I've gotta top it off with plenty of liquid so the oatmeal will soften. So I'll start with 2.5 cups of whole milk. If you want to be a little healthier, you can use skim milk. And if you want to be a little healthier, you can leave out the 1/2 and 1/2. I am not going to leave it out. Part of what I love about the muesli that I eat in Colorado is just how creamy and rich it is. You don't have to eat too much because it's just so satisfying. And I'll add about 1/4 cup or so of heavy cream. I'm going to split this up between 6 jars, so don't be mad at me. For a little bit of sweetness, I'll add about 1/4 cup of brown sugar, a little bit of vanilla, just for extra deliciousness. Now, this is one thing I have added through all my experimenting. Coconut milk in a can, about 1/2 the can. Talk about rich and satisfying. This is to die for. And then a pinch of salt to cut through all this sweetness. And I'll just stir it until the sugar is dissolved and it's all mixed together. Okay, so now all you have to do is just top off the jar with liquid. You don't want to skimp on the liquid because all of this oatmeal has to absorb it so it'll soften. Okay, all the way up to the top. I left a little bit of room because once I get the lid on, I've got to shake it up. Make sure everything is mixed together. There aren't any pockets of dry oats. Okay, that one's ready to go. Now I'll build the other 5. then all that's left to do is just go to sleep. And when you wake up in the morning, you'll have delicious overnight muesli. Now that's the kind of recipe I can get behind.